We're going to be putting on a much cooler show, a much edgier show, a much better professional wrestling event. And it's not going to be open to the public. It's not going to be open for friends and family. No, it's going to be 18 and up because it's going to be pretty hardcore. The Loose Cannons event on March 28th in Somerville, Massachusetts. There won't be any old washed up legends trying to take your money, trying to make ends meet on that last 8x10.
Wait a minute, we've seen this before from Casanova. That could be it. Make it 3, Christian Casanova.
Give a warm welcome. Please give a warm welcome to the new senior manager of Club Cam, Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, wait a minute, the new senior advisor to the Club Cam's Uprising, Vicky Guerrero.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer.
A new day, a new year, a new decade. Stand by. A brand new MWF Ultra is next.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to MWF Ultra. Dan Marotti, Tony Atlas here. Tony, the fans are still buzzing about a wild night we had at Memorial Hall. Project X, December the 28th. What a way it was to wrap up not only the year, but the decade.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed that. I felt good getting in the ring myself. I got to stretch the old joints out a little bit and, have myself a little short match with one of the upcoming superstars of the independent circuit. And I got to see my friend Vicky Guerrero and Big Mark Henry, and the fans were absolutely ecstatic. I mean, I got people saying to me letters and texting me about how much they enjoyed it. They keep asking me, when are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again?
Well, the answer is not too far into the future, Tony. Saturday night, April the 11th, we return to Memorial Hall for MWF Project X Back to the 80s WrestleFest. Yourself, Jake the Snake Roberts, Mr.
Wow.
Wonderful Paul Orndorff. We're going to have a plethora of superstars from the era that I love so much, that so many fans love so much, that mid-80s boom when WWF went from being kind of a regional promotion in the Northeast to a worldwide phenomenon. We're going to have much more news about that. But April 11th on Easter Eve, we're going to blow the roof off of Memorial Hall yet again.
Yes, it is. And I tell fans all the time, if you get a chance to see one of us guys that, that wrestled back in the 70s and back in the 80s, even in the 90s, it's a good idea if you within driving distance to come down and see these guys, because we have been on many events with Nikolai Volkov, King Kong Bundy, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and all these people, they're not around no more. So we're gonna hope not, but we probably lose a couple of superstars of the 80s this year. So every year it gets less and less and less of us. So you get a chance to see someone as great as Jake the Snake Roberts. You want to come and see this.
And Paul Orndorff, your old buddy. Hopefully you two won't.
Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. He was one of a great football player in college and everything. He was great in WCW, great in WWF and WWE. So he's a superstar and a super nice guy. Super nice guy.
What did you think of Memorial Hall itself, Tony, the venue?
I think Memorial Hall is an excellent place for having a wrestling. There's a lot of good parking there. You have a whole room all to yourself where you can go to get a nice concession. They had a lot of vendors there. Top Rope Promotion was there. A lot of your vendors from around the area came to support the event. And it's right downtown Melrose, right on Main Street. You can't miss it. The building is not a bad seat in the house.
No.
It's perfect, absolutely perfect for wrestling. I feel like I'm in one of these, a small Roma Coliseum.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, it feel like got that Coliseum feeling, because every seat, it's a good seat, and then the Q&A that we have in the ring.
We had fun.
We have fun, Mark Henry, as you can see, he was very open to any question the fans had. Vicky Guerrero was really open, and fan-friendly to all of the wrestling fans. Everybody went there. If you say, how do you feel to meet Mark Henry? How do you feel to meet Vicky Guerrero? And they're going to say they was wonderful people. And you see how Mark Henry did. He volunteered a lot of, you asked him one question, but in one answer, he would answer 5 of your questions. He really, it was enjoyment for him.
Well, Tony, again, it was a great night overall. Continue to check out the action and excitement of the MWF each and every week here on MWF Ultra. But again, discount VIP packages are on sale now over at BostonWrestling.com on how you can go back to the 80s with us at WrestleFest on Saturday night, April the 11th. A great way to spend the week after WrestleMania. Unfortunately, here in the Boston area, because of the alignment of stadiums that we have, WrestleMania isn't coming to Boston. The Hall of Fame isn't coming to Boston, and all the great events that take place WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania is basically too big of an event to come to this part of the country. I mean, they're not going to hold WrestleMania at Foxborough Stadium, where there aren't many arenas nearby in early April. It's disappointing, but
Yes.
It's going to be our chance to bring you a slice of the Hall of Fame.
Look like we having bad luck all around us New Englanders. You know,
Why is that, Tony?
Well, not only are we not going to get WrestleMania, we're not going to get the Super Bowl either.
Well, you know what? Many years we're not going to get the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know about that, because I'm getting ready to go out myself.
We got 9 in 20 years, so I think that's a pretty good run for the New England Patriots.
I'm going to sign up.
You're going to sign up?
Yeah.
You're going to replace Gronk?
No.
You're going to replace Brady?
Brady.
All right.
I'm going to take
All right.
Brady's place.
And that's just part of a big spring, fans. We kick it off, as was announced last week on Ultra. Talk about a surprise by Brian Pillman Jr. This Uprising faction is really looking to kick ass, take no prisoners, and take over. It's going to be MWF Project X Loose Cannons, Saturday night, March the 28th, from Somerville, Massachusetts, our first event in the great city of Somerville since 2008, almost 12 years. This is going to be, it may be a first, Tony. It's only going to be for 18 plus.
Yes, you know.
18 plus.
Yes, you know, we used to do matches there years ago, and we always had a good turnout. The people there are wrestling fans, and I always enjoy going down there. The food is excellent. Got some of the great places around there to eat and everything, and the fans are really into wrestling, and I'm really looking forward to that event.
Well, the Uprising, again, is looking to make a name for themselves here in the MWF in the new decade, a new leader. The days of John Cena Sr. and JBL are over. It's now Cam Zagami and the rest of that pack. Brian Pillman Jr. is certainly making a name for himself, not only here in the MWF, but around the country. This Uprising, Tony, we saw what happened last week. Christian Casanova defeated Trey Lamar, another up-and-comer here in the MWF, in the first match of the new year. Then Cam Zagami brought them all out. Brian Malonis, the Ring of Honor superstar. Slick Wagner Brown, former two-time MWF heavyweight champion. Again, Brian Pillman Jr., D.L. Hurst, a newcomer to professional wrestling in and of itself. And again, the top talent, the prodigy of the faction, Christian Casanova. And then, just as you see the ring filled with these great athletes, you have former Raw and SmackDown general manager Vicky Guerrero joining this faction as a senior advisor of sorts, a woman that helped lead Dolph Ziggler and Edge to world championships, now is in Cam Zagami and the rest of the athletes' ears. I don't think that bodes well for the rest of the MWF that aren't involved in that faction. Factions can be dangerous.
Yes, they can. You know, back in my day, we didn't have that. We had what we call cliques. Mm-hmm. So each guy, we learned a long time ago as an old-time wrestler would say, a Mad Dog Vachon. Brother, wrestling, it's a dog-eat-dog business, and you must get your bite out of it. Ah! And that's pretty much how it is today. Nothing changed as far as that is concerned. People say, well, what is the difference between wrestling today and wrestling in your day, Tony? The only difference that I've seen in today's wrestling compared to my day wrestling, the wrestling today is much quicker, it's a faster pace. A lot of the guys have much nicer bodies. You know, most of the guys are in better physical condition. You know, I came up through the days of the old street fighters, the ballroom brawlers, and you know, the construction workers, the guys that got in the ring, you know, just rugged, tough guys. There wasn't much for the gym, but, you know, they loved their wrestling, and they was in good wrestling shape. But these guys now, you know, I hate to say it, other than Jimmy Superfly Slicker and Mil Mascaras, we didn't have guys that could fly like that. I mean, these guys in my opinion, their ability is much, much greater than the ability that we had in our day. When Jimmy Snuka went up on that top rope, we thought that was the greatest thing in the world. When Cactus Jack jumped off of that 10-foot cage, you know, we thought that was fantastic. Then I see Shane McMahon does it, and now it's a common thing among today's wrestlers. So these guys are phenomenal. So I you know, my hat off to them.
But a bunch of rule-breaking individuals. They have not much of a moral compass. They're worried about victories and paydays and
that's
championship belts.
Right. Well, at least in my day, the guy that broke the rule, he didn't try to be so. He tried to be a little conspicuous. He didn't try to be so open with it now.
Yeah.
Today they don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, they win at all costs. I mean, if they would mean you in the ring, we did something. We try to do it and make it look accidentally if we want to hurt you in the ring. These guys, they just go for the juggler right off the bat. You know, they don't care if the referee see them. They don't care if they get caught. They don't. You know, we try to. The bad guy in my day, we try to hide it from the referee or hide it from the fan. These guys, they get a thought in the head and nothing else interfere with that thought. They just go for what they want to go for. And if they take a risk, greater risk of being disqualified or being, you know, kicked out of the match, whereas guys in my day were a little bit more caution about the rules and regulation of wrestling. These guys, the only rule to these guys is to win.
Exactly.
That's their rule. Win at all costs.
And thus far, they've been extremely successful. You look at Slick Wagner Brown's history in the MWF, Tony. He competed and he was victorious in the first match in the history of the company back in 2001. Big Brian Malonis, 430 pounds. He debuted with us back in 2003.
Yeah.
Fast forward, now you have someone like D.L. Hurst making his MWF debut here with the Uprising. You have Brian Pillman Jr. really making some waves, debuting here in the MWF. And you have Christian Casanova. We've seen him here in the past, but certainly not to this degree as we did last week. Again, the top talent, perhaps the prodigy, perhaps the one that could be next up to find a 6 or a 7-figure contract with one of the major league companies.
Well, see, it's a lot harder for the guys today than what is in my day. In my day, we had 20 to 30 territories that we could go work. So if you didn't make a big splash in WWF or in Georgia or in Florida, you could go to Minneapolis, you could go to Texas, you could go many, many places.
Yeah. On the flip side of the coin, we talked about the lowlives of the Uprising faction, but the athlete that Christian Casanova defeated in his debut, Trey Lamar, what a hungry, young, up-and-coming athlete, Tony. Came all the way out from Canton, Ohio, the home of the NFL Football Hall of Fame. Great size, great athlete. I think we might see a lot more of him in the MWF. I know you're keeping your eye on him.
Oh, yeah, you know, but like I was saying earlier, you know, these guys know whenever they get an opportunity to wrestle for a legit organization, one that can put the name out there, they're not going to go out there and have a halfway match. They're going to give it everything they got. You're going to be pandemonium, excitement in the sky, and they're going to give it all they got. You ask anybody who went to do your last show, I mean, it was buzzing. I mean, there was no breaks nowhere in none of these matches. I mean, these guys, you know, you had to call them out of the ring. I mean,
know.
A lot of them didn't even want to leave the ring. I mean, it was amazing. What an amazing event you put on.
Not to brag, but WWE Talent Scout and Hall of Famer Jerry Briscoe said he was extremely impressed with the entire event from top to bottom.
Yes, he gave me his same sentiment about that. You know, he talked to me after the match, and he's with the WWE. He's one of their talent agents. Now, he have seen talent all over the world, and he said some of the best talent that he's seen was right there in Melrose.
Well, and we're going to have, again, much more of that Saturday night, April the 11th, back at Memorial Hall. If you can't wait until April, Saturday night, March the 28th, but you have to be 18 or older, it's going to be MWF Project X Loose Cannons. It's going to be a hell of a night as we return to Somerville, Massachusetts for the first time in over a decade, 12 years. Right now, wrestling fans, as we count down to our big spring, we're going to take a brief timeout. We come back. What a main event we have, Tony. Former WWE Cruiserweight Champion TJP takes on the former Evan Bourne, Matt Sidell, one-on-one. Tony, what a matchup.
That's right. You know, I've been in the ring with Evan Bourne, and at the time, I was 275 pounds, so I said, I would just go in there and wipe up the mat with this young kid. He's only about maybe 205, 200 pounds at the very most. I said, he's going to be nothing. Mark Henry managed me. I don't know if you saw the match on television.
I did.
Well, I got in the ring with him, and it was like wrestling an eel. He's as slippery as an eel, and he's a lot stronger than what I expect him to be. And when he comes off that top rope and hits you, it felt like somebody pushed a boulder on top of me. I mean, he got so much, for such a small individual, he possessed so much power. And it's just amazing that we see that much power in a person. Now, I would expect that from Mark Henry or John Cena or Undertaker, but I wouldn't expect it from a guy, you know, that is, you know, 5'8", you know, 195 to 200 pounds. I wouldn't expect that, especially when I rate him at, you know, almost 70 pounds heavier than what he is.
Right.
But he's an amazing athlete. Very amazing.
All right, wrestling fans, again, we're going to take a brief timeout. We come back. Matt Sidell takes on TJP one-on-one. Stand by.
They're ready to take their rightful place amongst the literary greats. Who, you ask?
The New Day!
That's who. It's the Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. It's the feel-good story of the rise of the New Day. Loaded with games, trivia, coloring pages, and so much more. The Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. Available now online or wherever books are sold.
Wrestling fans, what a main event we have here for you on MWF Ultra. It could be the main event anywhere in the country on any live event. It's a match that would have a solid place on a card of any pay-per-view in professional wrestling in 2020. We'd love to see both TJP and Matt Sidell, Evan Bourne, compete here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation. As regulars, spread the word to fellow wrestling fans. Let's make some noise for MWF President Dr. David Reese to make it happen. I got to tell you, this is a match the late, great Paul Bearer would be very proud to see here in the MWF, along with one of our founding fathers, the Jackal, who passed away in 2017. This is a match WWE talent scout and Hall of Famer Jerry Briscoe is proud to be a part of live and in person here at Memorial Hall in Melrose. Don't forget, after this main event, we're going to hear from that lowlife, Stalker Dylan Kage, for the first time since his bizarre Friday the 13th video last month. Viewer beware. And we are underway. Your referee for this one, Eric Stefanowitz. (2020), if January is any indication, is going to be a hell of a year for the Millennium Wrestling Federation. What a treat for the fans to see these two one-on-one. Matt Sidell certainly looking to take his career in a new direction in the new decade. He's working with two eyes that aren't in between his nose, so to speak. TJP, one of the finest professional wrestlers in the world. We're going to be seeing TJ on a special episode of Memories and Legends this winter. Be on the lookout for that. Two men feeling each other out here in the early moments of a must-hyped, must-see matchup. Bourne takes him over. TJP has been competing in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You've seen him on Impact Wrestling. And here he is now in the Millennium Wrestling Federation. Again, almost like a worm snuck out of that headlock from Matt Sidell. Two athletes in their prime. Both men making their Millennium Wrestling Federation debuts. You know they both want to come away with the victory. TJP with the cartwheel right there takes Sidell down. Sidell rolls out of it up on his own. My educated guess is we're going to have a lot of back and forth in this one. Sidell with the advantage yet again. His career has been a series of highlight film type moments. TJP rolls through again, cartwheel again. Look at that, the head scissors down. Look, what a unique maneuver from TJP to gain the advantage. Trying to cut off that oxygen supply a little bit. Now Sidell trying to do the same thing. you can't breathe, it's certainly going to slow down the rhythm. Take away the offensive power that any move is going to have on the opponent. Missed the kick right there. Roll up. Could this be it? Not even a 1 count. Ooh. Stiff kick to the left leg of TJP. Great attempt to try and slow him down. No, already up with a drop kick. This is what professional wrestling is all about. Two outstanding athletes going tit for tat. Look at that. TJP catches himself in the rope, slides through, goes for a pinfall attempt. No. Referee down, but the shoulders were down. He got a 1 count out of it. Looks like he's going for the sharpshooter. Yes, he sure is. And he's laying it in. Sidell is far away from the ropes, and TJP let go. Interesting. Very interesting. That could come back to haunt him. Look at this right now. Matt Sidell is not in a good place. TJP again showing why he's one of the elite athletes in the king of sports professional wrestling. Oh! Matt Sidell is going to be handicapped if he can't use one of those arms, fan. Scoop. Nope, Sidell has TJP down 2.5 right there. Well, he may have injured his arm, but he was able to use his legs right there. A standing moonsault. Not enough to put away TJP. Fans, as this main event continues, we want to remind you the tickets are going to be on sale very soon for MWF Project X Loose Cannons. Saturday night, March the 28th, we return to Somerville, Massachusetts for the first time in 12 years since Good Time Emporium shut its door. It's going to be an 18-plus event presented to you by Brian Pillman Jr. and the Uprising faction. Again, tickets are going to be on sale soon. The format to this event is going to be unique and must see. I'm looking forward to it. It's the first time we've had an 18-plus event here in the MWF. Continue to visit BostonWrestling.com and the social media platforms for more on that. Referee right in there to make sure TJP is still with it. He's not anywhere near that bottom rope, but is able to make his way to his feet. Sidell sets him up off the ropes. TJP sunset flip. Shades of SD Special Delivery Jones on that one. Sidell up though and right down trying to crush that left-legged TJP. These men have a lot of respect for each other, but they both want the W. There's more money in a win than there is in a loss. There's more prestige in the victory than there is in the loss. Both men want to look good, if not great, working for a new company, as they are here tonight. Both men's legs are injured at this point. The plan for both of these individuals seems to be the same. Take out a leg, take out an arm, and it's going to slow the opponent down, using the ropes right there to his advantage. Smart wrestling from Matt Sidell. He's using the third eye to his advantage. I guess if you have an extra eye, it only helps your cause. TJP firing away with a couple of rights. Drop kick. TJP is boxed in his lifetime. There's a little extra emphasis on those punches. TJP off the middle rope. No! Sidell moves. Down to the floor he goes with another big-time right. Face full of canvas for Sidell. I think that affected all three of his eyes. Both men need to be mindful of the referee's count. It would be a shame to see a match like this end on a countout. I don't know if Sidell's going into the ring. Well, I there he is there. He didn't see that, and he's blindsided by Sidell. Well, anything to come away with the Duke. He's putting the boots to TJP. Referee trying to get these men back into the ring so this match can have a climax. There we go. Now at the referee's discretion, he can go to a 20 count when both men are outside the ring. Side Russian leg sweep from Sidell. No, he doesn't even go for the pin. Rolls him up again, trying to cut off that oxygen supply. I'm not sure if he's going for a submission right there or not. But TJP is in no man's land, not quite in the middle of the ring. Senior official Eric Stefanowicz right there to make sure we have the best encounter possible here. Look at that TJP trying to fight it, but he's just not in a position to outpower Matt Sidell, where he's face first into the canvas right now. Look at that. TJP could almost put his head on the rope to try and get a break. Sidell needs to keep the shoulders up, or that could be it for him. He could be pinned in his own maneuver. Fans trying to rally around TJP. Now able to get himself up. Look at that. That could realign Matt Sidell's jaw right there as TJP finally breaks out of it. Up and over he goes. Look at that tornado DDT. He doesn't have enough in him to go for even a pinfall attempt. Great maneuver by TJP to try and buy himself some time to recuperate. Well, both men's legs have been injured. They've got a 10 count to try and get up to their feet, and that could be it. TJP sets up Sidell, reversal off the middle rope. Clothesline of some sort right there. TJP up first. What are we going to see right here? He's taking his time right now, loading up off the middle rope. Look at that! Boot to the face. Sidell is rocking right now. Cross body. Could that be it? Two? Nope. Kind of an awkward landing right there. Again, TJP isn't 100%. Those legs have been worked over. TJP is signaling for something right here from that loaded arsenal of maneuvers he has. He's learned from the masters all over the world. Elbow to the face, Sidell down again, but look at that, Sidell very smart. TJP can't use those ropes if he takes out his knee. That could be it right there from Sidell. Sidell goes for the pin, 2, 3. No, that was pretty close. Very close to seeing a big victory for Matt Sidell here on Ultra. He's worked over his legs. He's tried to cut off the oxygen. And now it looks like he's headed up, going north to the top rope. We've seen this for many, many years, fans. TJP to his feet almost like a cat. Sidell gets away, and again he goes to work on that left knee. Using the third eye. Oh, to the back of the head. That's concussion city right there. Sidell, a little woozy himself. Slowly making his way to the top rope. TJP up again, enough in the gas tank to prevent Sidell from flying. Oh, look at that, the kick to the head, this could be it. Could this be it? 2 and 3. TJP victorious here in his Millennium Wrestling Federation debut here on Ultra. What a competitive matchup from both of these fine athletes, fans. Again, I have to state it, if you want to see more of TJP and Matt Sidell here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation, Share the video. Hit us up on social media. Let MWF President Dr. David Reese hear it. Next week on Ultra, again, we have Lance Hawaii of the legendary Samoan family taking on Brian Pillman Jr., an outstanding second-generation wrestler that's part of the Uprising faction.
I humiliated Dan Marotti. I broke his body, and I left him with no family, no money. I helped destroy the legend that is the Iron Sheik. But it's all child's play. Child's play! What I'm going to do to you, John Cena Sr. You used the great people of North Carolina. You used me. And for that sin, it is unforgivable. I know you, the real you. I know all your secrets, and I'm coming. You will see me.